Can you hear me? Okay. What about
Just sit normal. Sit normal. You're looking all angry and weird. Okay. Just sit how you're normally gonna sit, so I can fix things. No, you're not. That's me. Just like sit back, relax. Maxing all, relaxing all, cool. Oh my god.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking your face in the right way and things like that. Are you going to use this from now on? Because I need to change things if you are. I mean, it does look better.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I'm gonna. Well, I'm gonna have to if that shit it's then. So
we'll have some more contrast on you then.
Okay.
We'll have some saturation. Might shift your hue about.
Hue?
Huge dick, am I right?
Now, he was the... That was the name of the dad in Malcolm in the Middle, right? Hugh?
No, that was the name of the dad in Outnumbered.
Oh, shit, yeah, okay, yeah. What is it in Malcolm in the Middle? Walter White?
Cunt.
Cunt, okay.
His name's Cunt.
Yeah. I remember that episode.
It couldn't be like Clint or...
Cunt.
His name's...
Yeah.
Cunt.
What's this now? Why am I green? Whoa!
You flipped round.
What?
What's that? What's happened?
No, you know what it is? It's because this... It's because it screen locked on me and then it decided to shit itself.
Oh my god!
That's another thing that I'm gonna change on this. Play. Right.
Why are people so bad at things? Why is everyone so badly?
I've done it. I fixed it. Okay.
Oh, he's gone green again. Oh, okay.
No, but I'm back. I'm back.
Oh no, we got a slight glimpse at his goon cave then. I think that'll have to do.
I got all the walls.
It don't look great, mostly because of your lighting. I noticed this is kind of how every camera looks, because the lighting in that room's shit.
It looks so much nicer on my phone.
But it looks decent enough anyway. Yeah. Right, okay, let's try and start, I suppose. And
also probably better than it did before.
Can you try and do like a loud laugh?
Yeah, go on then. Let me just shut this door. Okay.
Okay, so it still cuts out. That's good. I hate Discord for that, you know.
Yeah.
Because
What? That scared the shit out of me. That really, my camera fell and it really made me. Oh, just stay for fuck's sake. You fucking did. It was fine. It was.
Finally, we've made it. We've managed to start the podcast. I've been today, before the start of this podcast, has been an absolute nightmare. Today at work, I would work in IT support. All the computers broke at once. Not just the work ones, apparently Judd's too, because it's taken us fucking forever to get this stream started because his camera was like just blank white. The microphone didn't work to start with as well. But now we've come up with a solution that's accidentally made Judd look better, so...
Yeah, and we're like, I'm like recording it on my camera phone, and through the power of magic, it's been sent to my computer.
And is it still charging at the same time?
It is also charging at the same time.
Wow.
Now, is the camera going to stay in this position that I put it in? We can only hope.
Yeah, we can hope. No one will know. It's currently blue tacked to the wall.
Well, it's blue. It's like blue tack to the top of my monitor that it's also like slung over. So
I would love to see. I mean, I'm going to be honest. My setup is like clean jank, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I've kind of made it clean based off like the cheap ass shit that I've got. Yeah. Yours is just jank.
Yeah, mine's just. I'll be honest. Like, it looks like shit. I don't like move the camera to show people, even though nobody's watching. It's a messy desk. There's a load of shit on it, but I do have it like divided into like sections of mess. So it's like there's all my painting stuff. That's all messy.
No. There's
there.
All my painting mess.
Yeah, and then I've got all of my like modeling mess over here with like blue tack and brushes and snippers and glue and stuff. Then I've got like some model mess over here that are like models I'm working on painting, and then right in this tiny little space in front of me, I have my keyboard and mouse. So.
No wonder your sensitivity on games is so fucking low.
I have it so high. No, high. I have it super high.
Sorry, I meant, that's what I meant. I used to be the same because I used to have like a really narrow desk. So I had like a really small, mouse pad. And when I started playing FPS games, it was the same. I had to have really high sensitivity. Yeah. But fucking hell, like...
I will not clean my desk, I refuse.
It is quite shocking, yours. But anyway, at least we've found a way to get you a better camera. It's a shame that the lighting's so fucking terrible in there. And we could get you some better lights, but
I don't. It looks fine on my phone. I don't.
No, it doesn't. Honestly, I think it's just your standards are a lot different to mine. I've got like studio lights. But I don't think it looks
good on here. I know what you're talking about with like how I look on. Through that on Discord, but I'm looking at my phone and it looks fine.
It's a smaller screen. It'll probably make a big difference. But it's honestly the lighting in that room it couldn't be much worse from what's going on.
It's fucking lighting.
Anyway, we've not give a shit too much so far. And you know what? If people actually cared about anything that we did, maybe we'd actually put more effort in, because I've tried that before. I've tried that one. Tried putting effort in and making good things. It doesn't work. Actually, people just hate you even more. So, speaking of stuff that doesn't work, though, Judd, I'm going to ruin a sponsorship opportunity for us. AirUp. Nice. AirUp sponsors many YouTubers. I'm sure the creators you watch have been sponsored by AirUp before.
Yeah, I've heard of them before, but I can't tell you what the fuck they do.
You don't know what it is?
Something to do with air, I should imagine. Oxygen of some kind.
It's actually less to do with air and more to do with water.
Okay.
So essentially, they sell these water bottles that they're quite nice water bottles, but then you put like a scent pod in the top of them. And it's supposed to flavour your water by sciencey scent. Okay. So, what I'm mostly going to be telling you about is I went away to a festival this weekend, and I'll be talking about that.
You did, yeah.
I felt fat at that festival. Like, I had to lug a bunch of stuff about, and I was like, man, I can't do this that well now. And it's like, it kind of... I've always said, as soon as like I actually have any problems from being fat or unhealthy, then I'll definitely want to do something about it. And so I thought, fuck it,
I've been fat now.
I've been thinking about getting one of these air bottles for a while to so that I drink less fizzy drinks, and it's also kind of convenient in that I can just go fill it up rather than having to go to the shop to get something.
Yeah.
It doesn't fucking work. It just really doesn't work. Like, I really, really want to, and I know part of it's psychological, and I really wanted it to work. And even psychology-wise, like, it makes sense that it would potentially work. It's not like ghosts where you only believe in them if you really actually want to believe. So I like fully don't fucking believe in ghosts. With this, there's like actual science behind it. And I want it to work. So in theory, it should work for me. And it just fucking doesn't. It doesn't work at all. I can't even smell this fucking lemon lime pod anymore. Do you know what it smells like more than anything? McDonald's chips.
What the fuck? Okay.
I think it's the rubber that it's like sat on. For some reason smells like that. I don't fucking know.
It's the burning rubber that they fucking put in it.
To start with, it kind of did smell like lemon lime, but I'm talking literally within 2 minutes, it stopped smelling like it. So I don't know what the fuck is supposed to. I don't know. To be fair, I don't think lemon lime's a particularly strong flavor. In a weird way, a lemony limey flavour is almost already close to water flavour. If that sounds like bonkers, but do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because I've got in the pack that I got, there's like a starter pack with a few flavours in it. What is it? I forgot what flavours it is.
Can I ask you a question?
No. The flavours are lemon lime soda, tropical sunset, and cherry cola. So I think tropical and cherry cola, I don't know, I just feel like they will be more potent. What's the question, Judd?
Why don't you just drink regular fucking water?
Well, because it's boring. I like a bit of... It's nice, a bit of taste. It's just nice. It's more interesting. I can drink regular water as well, but it's kind of boring, is the thing.
I just think beats just like regular
you say that,
water.
But you just regularly the only things you drink is Coca-Cola and Fosters.
Now
you drink beer and Coke. That's it.
I've switched out the Coca-Cola for Fanta now because the Coca-Cola was upsetting my. No, it's upsetting my tummy, so I switched to Fanta.
See, what you need is an air-up bottle with Fanta scent.
I don't, because they don't work. What? You just told me they don't work. I'm not going to get one.
They're terrible. I don't know. I'm kind of semi-hoping that the next flavour... I don't want to waste this one, even though it's not working, if that makes sense. Because I have paid for it. Yeah. So I'm going to use this scent pod for as long as it's supposed to last. Which, by the way, is only like 3 days. And then I'm going to try one of the other ones. For the pod, well, it came as on an offer with the bottle and 3 pods. How much do you think it was? Let's see if you can guess.
I want to say a tenner, because if it's anything more than a tenner, I might drive through to your house and slap you.
Ooh, quite a big bottle. It's nice. It's good.
Jake, it's water. It's free out of the tap.
Yeah, but water bottles aren't free.
I know, but you could go spend 95 pence on a bottle of water and then you get the bottle free.
I know, and I always thought that as well, but this is made of non-reactive plastics. So you don't get like microplastics in your water.
Oh yeah. Because I mean that's been a huge fucking problem for the past 26 or 7 years you've been alive, and them microplastics.
Yeah.
You just told me you don't like water without flavour, and now you're taking out the microplastics. That's the flavour.
Tasty microplastics. No, it might have been a bit more than that. But you get 3 scent pods with it as well.
Yeah, who gives a fuck about scent pod? They shouldn't be any more than like £3, really.
Ooh.
Wow.
It was £30, Judd.
That's fucking stupid. That's like actually certifiably stupid.
Well, if it works, it's not too bad.
Well, one, it didn't work, and two, it's water.
It's tasty water.
Well, just go buy tasty water. You can get like
no, because then you get
the
problem. Then you get like the unhealthy bits of that tasty water. Like, the idea is not awful, right? Literally, the only problem is it doesn't work at all. Like,
I'm sure.
If it works like a little bit and like kind of was flavour enough and that, it wouldn't be too bad.
I'm sure the fucking neurotoxins that they're spritzing the fucking water with haven't got any harmful chemicals in it.
To be honest, it's so bad right now that I would probably legitimately call it a scam. It's like the thing is, I do genuinely think that the kind of like scent kind of the idea of the scent thing flavouring your water, like that whole idea, I reckon that could work, but this fucking doesn't. The way they're doing it, their one doesn't, and it's terrible. It's really not good. But you know, I'll keep you updated. I'll try some other flavors and see what goes on. If both of these other capsules are as bad as this one, I'm not fucking buying any more of it because it's stupid.
Good.
You can buy sets of capsules, a set of 3, same flavor for £7.
That's better.
What do you mean?
That's better. That's much better. A set of 3 for £7, did you say? So I said they should probably be about like £3 a piece.
No,
so that's even cheaper. Go on. What?
No. Oh, you mean each pod should be £3? Oh,
yeah.
right.
I said each pod should probably be like £3.
You can get them as cheap as like £4 as well for a set of 3 too.
Yeah, I think that's so. Where's the like extra £21? It's the bottle is a £21 bottle. That's a £21 bottle.
Yeah, because the bottle has to house and use the scent things, so it's got to be like designed a certain way.
Why can't you just take like a can opener to it and just like spritz it all over a normal glass of water?
Because you're not putting anything in the water.
You are. You're putting the neurotoxins, the deadly neurotoxins are going into your fucking water.
You're so dumb, you can't even understand how this is working.
I know, it's magic. You're fucking breathing like, I don't know.
Not very good magic then, because it don't work.
It don't work. It's a fucking, you're a phony.
Speaking of work, I went to an IT conference, because I work in IT.
Yep.
It was interesting. I'm not going to talk about this very much, just because we've got some ridiculous camping stories to get to. But it was like, you know, these conferences, they always try and make it fun, don't they? You know, trying to.
Yeah.
So in the entrance,
I mean, I've never been to a conference, but I imagine it's quite a lot like the meeting you have to have when you like get caught by a speed camera the first time. And
no, it's not like that. It's big. It's like it's in a conference hall.
Yeah, this was in like when you say conference hall, you're talking like maybe 100 people.
No, thousands of people.
Oh,
like you know, like I'm talking like the same size as like a Comic-Con or something like that. Because that's a conference. Okay. What do you think Comic-Con stands for? Comic Conference.
Oh, well,
it's convention.
I was just going to say it's convention.
Convention means nice conference. Same thing, really. So anyway, maybe not as much as like an LA Comic-Con for sure, but we went to the Sheffield Comic-Con once.
Yeah, it's definitely a Sheffield Comic-Con type of thing.
But if there was an LA IT conference, it might be massive, you know. But so it was as much as that. There was probably there might have been 2,000 people there.
Were they like doing demos of stuff there and shit? Like here's our security system. It's
an IT conference. It's all like boring. So, but they try and make it exciting. So the first speaker on the main stage, like a festival, it really is kind of like a festival. Was Darren Brown.
Wow! Okay, no, I wish I would have gone. Holy shit, what are you talking about? This was boring.
Yeah, I know. I got my hopes up too. What was bad about it was I had to drive to my boss's house, and then I was driving with him to the conference, and it was quite a long drive. It was about an hour and a half. and there was quite a lot of traffic because it was raining like mad.
Yeah, I remember.
And the sat-nav said, "I found you a quicker way. It's going to save you a bunch of time." And we were
liar,
like, "Sweet,
liar,
okay, we'll follow. I'm going to follow that, right?" We started following it. The estimated time went down by like half an hour. As in, we were going to be late for the start of this conference by like 10 minutes or so. At that point, we were going to be there like half an hour early. Like, honestly, it were a way better route that it had taken us on. Until my boss was like, "Oh, well, we seem to have got around the traffic now. I'll just go the way I was going to go."
What? So it actually what? Because usually when that happens to me, my sat nav goes, "I found your route," and then I go it, and it's like it sent me to fucking Azkaban.
I don't know what you're doing, but sat-navs nowadays, it's flipped. It used to be the funny thing is, "Oh, we found you a good route," and it leads you into the middle of a field and you die and take 90 hours to get to your destination.
That still happens to me.
That's just you. Because nowadays, like, Google Maps has gotten way better. It's honestly, it's so much better than people at getting you places.
I still don't have like a thing to hang my as you've just seen. I still don't have a thing to like hang my phone up in the car, so I just use an old sat nav. So that's probably why. So the fucking thing's got like maps on it from like 1999.
What the fuck? What do you mean an old sat nav? You've not got a mount for your phone, but you've got a mount to put a sat nav in your car.
Well, no, it has a suction thing on the back. Like it comes with a thing, so you just go on your windscreen and it's on.
Where did you get that?
I got given that. It was
by
like
an ancient being. Like, what are you talking about?
It was like my granddad.
Oh,
it was like I have this in my car. You can have it. I swear, I got a new one.
Yeah, well, that's the problem you're having. You're using a good sat nav.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I'm using Stone Age tech.
But this is what happens to middle-aged people. Do this right. They think they know better than the sat nav, so they just ignore it. No, you don't. There's like billions and billions of satellites analyzing every element of the roads. It knows you're driving better than you do. It's like, honestly, my phone now knows roads that I go faster or slower on than the speed limits or whatever. I always don't go faster than the speed limit. Am I right? Anyway, so it knows all that and fucking like it gives me the right estimate of when I'm going to get there. It's so accurate. But like people who are in the 40s and 50s just turn that shit off and try and get there themselves. And they always think they know a shortcut. That's not a shortcut. They think, but it avoids all traffic and gets us there. It doesn't. They always do that, but that's a separate thing. So he did one of them, and he got it, and it added about 25 minutes onto the journey.
Nice.
And we got there, and they try and, like I was saying, they try and make it fun. So when we got in, there was a Batmobile on the left.
Yeah,
I'm like, whoa, a Batmobile.
Jake, Darren Brown. And a Batmobile. Fuck me. I gotta tell you, this is a lot more interesting than what I do for a job.
It sounds great at this point. And this is the only time this has happened in the nearly 4 years I've worked at this place. But it all sounds very interesting and good. But like you slowly realise it's not. They also had like some Doctor Who statues. So there was some Daleks and a TARDIS, and there was one of the Silence, but like slightly deflated. It looked a bit fucked.
He's got a flat head.
Yeah. And they weren't like 8 feet tall. It was like, 5'10". It was
like my height.
Yeah. It was not. It was. So that was all right. Scary. They had some classic arcade games as well. So those were the kind of like token things that they threw there. But it's like, so. What are you gonna do with them? Like,
I know, great. You've seen them for all the fucking 3 seconds. It's the Shanghai, not Shanghai. That's the word, isn't it? When you like get like knock somebody out and like indenture them in servitude aboard your ship, like if you're a pirate captain. Shanghai, right? Have you Shanghaied them?
But I get what you get. I know what you're getting.
It's like they're like Shanghaiing you into this conference thing. They're like going, "Oh, look at the Doctor Who stuff. Look at the Batmobile." And then by the time you know it, they've took a bat to the back of your head, and then you wake up and you're in this big fucking conference hall, like listening to some boring bastard.
It's like festivals or airports in that, like, you get there, it's like, oh, we're quite early. I might grab a bit of breakfast or something from the only thing that's open, this one like cafe thing. Yeah. And I walked up to it and I was like, oh, they don't do like bacon sandwich or anything like that.
Yeah.
They only do like coffees and maybe a bit of a cake, and I don't like coffee or anything. Maybe I'll just buy a sandwich from them, like as if it's a breakfast. Maybe like a BLT.
Yeah.
That's got bacon in it. We're talking about £6.
Yeah.
For a sandwich.
I'm not surprised. I actually would have thought it'd be more.
Like, and it's not. I'm talking like Tesco meal deal level of sandwich. Yeah. It's not like a good sandwich. It's I just went, oh no, I'm not gonna have anything then.
Yeah.
So I was like, right. Okay. So rather than like getting there on time and managing to listen to Derren Brown, which is probably the only fucking thing I care about in this entire fucking day of a conference, we're actually there like 40 minutes late for Derren Brown. I'm not buying anything, and we're just gonna no it's an hour he's talking for.
Oh, okay, all right.
So everyone's at the main stage, so I can't really see him. I can only see him on screen. And even then, like, the audio or the screen's broke for a start, which is very funny at an IT conference.
Yeah, I was just gonna,
So you couldn't see him moving at all. You could only hear him. Eventually, I could see him moving and I could hear him. And I'm like, okay, right. So there's this woman asking him questions. Essentially, it was kind of to do with people's psychology when it comes to technology and work. Like, what he could talk about to do with that. It was basically just a way to kind of like shoehorn a celebrity there to make people turn up. Because like otherwise people would maybe turn up for one thing and leave rather than like turn up first thing. Or you get what I'm saying. So she was asking him these questions. And
sorry,
go on.
Can I just say? So is this like a mandatory thing that all companies have to go to, or is it something that like they want to go to?
No, they have to sign up to it. I think it might be free to go to, but because I think the event gets a bunch of sponsors, because like a bunch of people, half of it's companies trying to sell you stuff. So there's a bunch of like antivirus providers, there's a bunch of like database providers and stuff like that who are all like, ours is the best one, buy it with your company's money. So they kind of pay to be there, and I think that's why it's free to go.
Yeah, they're like vendors with stalls, aren't they? Yeah.
Make money. So they all put on talks as well as having stalls.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the whole thing. But anyway, she's asking these questions to Derren, and she's doing a good job. Like, the interview lady was pretty good at asking relevant questions.
Yeah.
And he was talking, and he kind of kept talking, and kept talking. And as he was talking, I was thinking, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, he just, like, I love Derren Brown, right? And I really love his shows. I've been to see him live, and it was fantastic as well. And I don't actually think he's an idiot. But in that moment, I was like, what the fuck is he waffling on about?
Yeah.
He was just chatting a load of shit. Like, he was just... He weren't even answering the questions that she was asking. He was just waffling.
Do not shout out, Derren, you're chatting shit!
No, and it's Derren, and I bet he hates being called Darren.
I said Darren. I thought I said Darren.
How many times do you think he's fucking on? It's Derren! It's fucking Derren!
So many. Oh my god.
So yeah, and it was just weird, and I don't even know what to say, because he weren't answering questions. She'd ask him a question, and he'd waffle on about something that you started to think might be relevant to what she was saying, and then you realise that's not what she asked you at all. Also, it's a load of crap.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I weren't really impressed with Derren's talk, but then that's like what the rest of the conference was basically.
Yeah.
Was there was like some slightly fun things, like, oh, isn't that a fun conference? You could buy a beer, for example. Not that I would. I mean, I'm there to fucking work, but you know. But then it was like, oh, but now you get to sit down and listen to a fucking talk about some nerd chatting some shit.
Yeah, I don't know how you didn't drink.
They're all fucking idiots, Judd. They're all idiots. And even my boss agreed that, like, most of these... Because obviously nowadays AI is a big hot topic.
I was just going to say, I'm sure that got brought up a lot, AI.
And none of them know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like, as in, you'd go to one of these chats, and there were this guy basically being like, how can we use AI to mitigate risks to organizations? How can that... He didn't know! Like, he was asking! That was that was the thing, and we were like, oh, okay, that'll be useful for us. He didn't know.
Yeah.
He was just saying how, because he was from the BBC, and how they, and it was essentially, will this big company that does a lot of work on stuff have some insight, and can they help you with what you might want to do? No, they were just saying what they've done already and what questions they've come up with to think about.
Yeah.
So no one fucking knew. We stopped going to these AI ones because they were shit. One of my favourite ones was everyone's really awkward. I know you know how nerdy people can be. Yeah. There was some proper like IT. Everyone was from the IT crowd.
Yeah. It's just a sea of fucking Mosses.
Yeah, it was all Moss and Roy. It's all that. So everyone's very awkward with each other. And there was this one guy who was essentially demoing some antivirus. It's not antivirus. It's more complicated than that, but basically it's antivirus. And he had this like mini computer, and he'd built, a demo virus, and he was showing some stuff. And he started putting these gloves on and this like safety gear.
Yeah.
And then he goes, this was so funny because you can tell how socially awkward these people are. He put that on first as he was finishing talking, like some gloves and some goggles, and then goes, "Can I have a volunteer?" And everyone went, huh? So essentially, he explained he were going to get him to smash up that computer.
Yeah.
Which I was like, oh, okay. So he gave
did your hand go up?
No, I couldn't get to the front. I would have done it, but I was too far back and couldn't get to the front. So this other guy put his hand up and got chosen anyway. So he put some safety gear on him. But people on the front, honestly, fucking IT professionals must be pussies. They fled. They started fleeing. He'd put this tiny computer in like a strong like bag, and he was like whacking it, and nothing bad was about to happen here. Like, and they ran away. Honestly, I saw them scurry in fear. But the whole thing was essentially, he was showing like, even if a virus was so bad to like destroy your computer completely, we can recover the entire thing like no problem. So, and he did, and wasn't it all wonderful? So that was the conference.
Did you stand up and applaud at his revolutionary new technology?
No, I suppose technically you can give him a little round of applause at the end, and I was already stood up. So anyway, that was the IT conference.
The exit.
So luckily, I thought it was going to be like, I had to get up early for it. For me, getting up early consists of being up at 6:30 a.m. Which, how early do you wake up?
Well, now I'm up at like 4 a.m. But that's not because of work. That's just how I've been waking up. I've like been going to bed at 10, and then I'll wake up at 4 a.m. I'll like try desperately to get back to sleep, and I just can't. I'm just up. So recently, it's been 4 a.m.
That's fucked. I could not be dealing with that. Oh my god. Well, anyway, so I was up at 6:30, and I thought I was going to be leaving the conference at like 5:30 p.m. and then driving back an hour and a half, then driving back another 45 minutes. Yeah. So I was like, oh my god, I'm sick. I really didn't want that. Plus, the next day after that, I was supposed to be going to a festival and staying over at the festival and all that.
Yeah.
So luckily, it got to the point where we realised most of the people in there were idiots. We didn't want to buy anything of them, and we just kind of went home at like 2.
Nice.
So it wasn't too bad. So
yeah, like basically a Comic-Con then.
Yeah, exactly. An even more boring Comic-Con.
Yeah, I think you got the real Comic-Con experience here, I gotta be honest.
Well, I certainly had a big festival experience last weekend. Jesus. I think I'm too old for this shit. I think I might be too old for festivals now. I'm too old or too fat. It's one of those. I'm going to try and do something about the fat thing just to test whether I'm too old for it.
Yeah.
As in, I was trying to like it. So I said, didn't I, on the way to the conference, it was like raining, and it was raining all day. Like we left the conference, It was still raining the entire day. You know which day I mean as well. It was just
I remember because I think I messaged you, didn't I, about coming over?
Yeah,
and it was just it was shit.
It just rained like crazy. So I was going to the festival the next day, and it was so fucking muddy. It was so muddy, and they just like didn't seem to do anything about it. And we were parked. You couldn't be parked further away than we were parked. We were, oh my god, we had this trolley, like this thing on wheels that we were going to cart things about. Normally, great idea. You know, you just pull it about, the wheels make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
That thing made life hell to bring stuff to this festival, because all that happened was mud and grass clogged up the wheels. So all we were doing was pulling this really heavy, like it was like it had the brakes on the entire way, and I had to pull this thing, and it was so fucking heavy. And the campsite for it was full, like completely full. We found there was certain rules where it's like you're not allowed to camp 3 meters close, within 3 meters of a fence.
Yeah,
we just said fuck that, because there's literally nowhere else to go. And we got so muddy. We arrived. We set off after work. Sorry, go on.
That was the advantage of when I went to download, of the two of us only taking a tent that really barely fit a single person.
Yeah, you didn't bring enough to survive.
No, I barely survived. But I tell you what, we got set up straight away. We just threw it on like the first corner we saw. We're like, this is perfect.
There weren't enough room for even that though. And
I know.
But it was ridiculous. Because we'd finished work, and I was hoping to finish work earlier, but of course everything fucks up and I can't do that.
Yeah.
And we had to drive like a good hour and a half to this festival. So we ended up setting off at maybe 5:30 to be generous. So that's 7 o'clock we kind of arrived. We got parked pretty quick and got us things pretty quick. So maybe 7:15, we started lugging things and setting things up. We didn't finish while gone 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So it took us so and like it was a combination of it being quite far away, but mostly being really difficult and hard, and having to keep stopping. It was awful. It's hard to describe. You have to kind of more be there, I guess. And we were fucking absolutely exhausted by the end of it. So we kind of just had to say to his friends who kind of we went to the festival with, look, we're not gonna see you tonight. we just went to the closest hot food thing, and it was a pizza thing, and luckily there wasn't a big queue or anything like that. I bought 2 pizzas because I don't even think I'd had lunch. If I did, it was like at 11 a.m. So it would have been like 12 hours since I'd eaten. I just bought 2 pizzas and went a bit ravenous on them. It was, the pizzas weren't like takeaway pizza size, to be fair.
No, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, it's not even 10 inch, it's like 8-inch ones that they do at festivals.
A bit like that, yeah. So, we did that and then just went to bed because we were fucking exhausted. It was awful, and we were covered in mud. So that was the first day. The tent that we brought was bigger than we needed as well. Technically, I think it's supposed to be for 5 people, and there was only 2 of us staying in it. Do you know what actually made this worse? Was the fact that the reason we went to this festival was because our friends were playing at the festival. So they had artist tickets. They were in artist, well, I think they've got a van anyway, so they were in artist, like, camper van area, and they had artist car parking as well. Now, we were +1 to with them, and we were supposed to be doing some video work for them. Now, if you're +1 for an artist, right, that's playing at a festival, surely you need to be with the artist. Like, there's a reason why you bring a +1 rather than buying a festival fucking ticket.
Yeah.
Like, it's so weird. But no, we were parked as far away as possible, as Tent was in general population and fucking far away as possible as well. Not so. I could maybe forgive that, which is stupid anyway, because, like, how are we supposed to be confident that we can bring equipment that we're supposed to be helping artists with? I could kind of forgive that if it was an actual +1 free ticket, but it wasn't. They make you pay still. They make you pay, like, a lot less, to be fair. It was still £53 each. Yeah. Like, these tickets are supposed to be 250 quid a ticket for this festival, which I have to say, as much as it's a good festival, fucking hell. 250 quid each a ticket when you can't even get camped right. And it's going to be like, you're going to be dead from mud.
I'm pretty sure download was like 100, maybe like a bit over 100.
Yeah. So I already wasn't happy with that. And then on top of that, we had to pay for parking as well. Another £23 for the parking.
You know.
And this parking, apparently, because it was so muddy, you were expected to be towed out of there.
Nice.
Now, because I'm not a fucking idiot, I could actually drive my car, so I didn't have to be towed out of there.
Yeah.
But that's another kind of bit of it at the other end. Anyway, so we did that, and we kind of, there was a Friday that we wandered around the festival, and we saw a few things. We had a couple drinks with his friends and that, but we actually ended up going to bed relatively early because we lost track of where his friends were and weren't that interested in the artists that were on. We were basically just there to see our friends play and then one or two other acts. But this is where it gets exciting for you. I bought you a present.
Me? Oh my god! What did you get me?
Now, I might save it for the next 100 podcasts, just because why not? I actually think I will do that. Do you want to know what it was, or shall I? Okay, I'll leave it. I'll see if. In fact, I need to actually check that I've still got it. I've not even emptied my car since this is festival. That's how much I've resented like all the shit that's in there. So
you do, don't you? It's like I think you get there and you're just like, fucking hell, I can't wait till it's over.
I know. It's one of those things where it's like, I think I've definitely gotten grumpier about it as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
But at a festival, it's like I hate it and like it at the same time.
I know.
It's really weird. And it tips depending. Like, to be fair, if it was sunny the whole time, it would have made a massive difference to how much I enjoyed it. But it was, Anyway, the Friday, and it depends if there's acts on that you want to see as well. If there's like, I'm excited to see these at this festival. It'll be great to be like tipsy in the sun, and they're playing and, but there was only kind of our friends playing that we want to see. Anyway, so the Friday was fairly boring. We did the video work for the band that we went with, and saw the gigs, and it was a lot of fun. And we watched their second gig. They had 2 in one day. We did a bit of kind of recording for that as well. But I'd brought that cask strength rum that we got. There was 60-odd%. I'd brought that and sherry. Because, as I was saying to people there, people were making fun of me for bringing sherry. Sherry is a great festival drink if you like it. Because it's like 3 times as strong as a beer. 2 times, depending. So, like, I don't have to go piss all the time.
Yeah.
It's great. So, I got quite drunk that night, and we had a boogie and things and sung, and it was a load of festival fun. Like, just your normal, typical festival fun. Yeah. Weirdly, the only kind of other thing I can think of that was worth mentioning there, well, actually, there was two things. Jasmine sent you a picture. Did you get it?
I don't think I ever looked at this.
You didn't look at this picture she sent you? Fucking hell.
No. I saw it pop. I went, put that bitch on mute.
React to this picture.
It's probably a good thing that I've saved this for now. Where is she? Oh, have I seen this? I've not seen this. What's going on here, Jay?
So this festival we went to was very hippie and weird.
Yeah.
It was as in like, because I was wearing like well, actually, this t-shirt, like just like a Space Jam t-shirt and some jeans, I may as well have been dressed in a smart suit compared to like people who are walking around here. So we just saw this fucking old guy, like old. He looks like he's in his 70s. Just fucking wandering around in a slutty Santa outfit. It's not Christmas. He's not a slutty Santa.
No, and let me tell you. Well, I mean, he can be if he wants to, because that crotch is riding up his balls. You can like straight up almost see his like testes in that.
Well, he had kind of like tucked into his leotard Santa thing a banana in one of those banana protectors. And he sat next to us when we were about to watch this gig, and I had to ask him for a picture just because I thought it had the content. Yeah. So I said, "Excuse me, sir, but would you?" Like I was trying to be like really polite, and I said, "Would it be okay if I could have a picture with you, please?" And he went, "Well, have you got a camera?" And I said, "I sure do." And he was like, "Well, of course then." And then he goes, "Do you want to sit on my knee?" Yeah. And I went, "Yeah."
Yes, please.
I couldn't say no. That's going to look much funnier. So I sat on this old Santa's knee and put my arm around him. And I knew the question was going to come up that he was going to ask me. I knew he was going to ask me what I wanted for Christmas.
What you want for Christmas, yeah.
So because he'd just like shown me his banana that had been tucked into his fucking thing, I sat on this fucking 70-year-old Santa's knee. He asked me what I want for Christmas. I said, weirdly enough, I want a banana for Christmas, actually. I had it locked and loaded, ready to go. Nice. Oh, yeah. So, but, like, that wasn't it. We started talking to this fella. One of the most eloquently spoken people I've ever talked to. Like, I swear, this festival is full of people who, like, in the real world are like CEOs and like, really well put together, really clean, and they come here and act like a fucking freak, and it's amazing. And apparently he was saying, I actually manage another rather large festival going on somewhere else, and I'm like, what? You're in charge of something. You're in charge of things, like important shit.
It's like Burning Man. It's the same thing with Burning Man. A lot of like really rich people will go to Burning Man so they can like just live a completely different life.
Yeah. It's like that, but a lot more British.
A lot more British, and obviously it's not as wild as fucking Burning Man, but it's the same principle.
Yeah, Burning Man sounds awful.
Yeah. Oh no, I'd love to do Burning Man like once.
Yeah, me too. I'd love to hate that.
Yeah.
I don't know what it says about my life that I want experiences that I know I would hate. Yeah. I think it's because it's such a unique experience.
Yeah.
That it's like the stories that you could talk about it for the rest of your life would probably outweigh how bad the experience was. But yeah, so we talked to him, and that was very funny. And there's obviously plenty of people like that. Jane's Addiction was the main headliner. You ever heard of Jane's Addiction, Judd?
I feel like I've heard of Jane's Addiction, yeah.
They're like a punk band from the 90s, kind of same era as Green Day. Do you know Dave Navarro?
No, that's ringing another bell, but I
Did you ever watch the show Inked?
Oh, no, okay, that's where it's... Because you told me about Inked before, so that's where I know the name.
So he presents Inked. Yeah. And he first got famous from being the guitarist in Jane's Addiction. I figured he probably just isn't the guitarist. It turns out he is. So he was there. So I saw the guy from Inked. That was kind of cool, I guess. So Jane's Addiction sucked, right? They were really bad, and we don't like everyone who'd gone to this festival with. We were all stood to watch them because they were main headliner.
Yeah,
and at one point we kind of all started slowly turning to each other and going like, "This is shit, right?" Like, these guys are bad, right?
Just to make sure, like, I've not been struck deaf and dumb. These people.
Well, you never know. It's a
shit.
festival. Some of the people we with may or may not have been on various drugs. Who knows?
Yeah, and they could have slipped them into your drink, and now you're hallucinating the shit.
Well, I was quite drunk. I was quite drunk at that point. I'd essentially drunk a full bottle of rum.
Well, that's really not good if you'd like pissed out your head and you can stand there and go, "Wait a second, these guys suck."
But the funny thing was, it was still fun to watch. It was more like an accidental comedy set with songs in between.
Yeah.
Because whenever the front man started talking, it was always like, what the fuck is he going to say next? So to start with, so this festival is very liberal, very left-wing.
Mm-hmm.
As in, if you say, fuck the Tories anywhere there, you will get a cheer. Someone will cheer around you. So apparently, this guy didn't like the Tories either. But I don't know if he knew he wasn't in America anymore.
Why? Did he say like Republicans or Democrats or what the fuck it is?
Yeah, he basically complained about the Republicans or whatever we have. And then he said, he was like, fucking those fucking Republicans, and got a bit of a cheer because people knew what it meant. And then he was like, well, but I guess you guys got like a king or a prince or some shit. So it's like, where do you think you are? What's going on here? So he kind of slagged off right-wing politics as a whole. And then it's really hard to say it how he said it, because he had such a way of presenting things that was so strange. He basically, between the next songs, he basically, and he didn't say it like this, but I'm going to put it in my own terms.
Sorry, Jesus. Yeah.
He basically said, and we all beat our wives, right?
What?
I know. I was like, whoa, wait, what?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, and everyone kind of all looked at each other like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Like at that point, they're like, do we like this guy or what now? I don't know what to do. So he just kept saying like weird shit, and I don't know. It was so fucking strange. But at one point, I had a cracker of a joke, and I don't know if you had to be there, but they were playing like this song, and it would be like and there was like some bits of gaps, in between kind of riffs or whatever. And they did one, and it was like and it had a gap, and I just went, who the fuck's Jane?
Kind of shit hi-fi, really funny.
I got a small crowd around me laugh at that point, I must say. Quite a few people just in the surrounding area heard it and just started laughing. And if I'm being honest, like, I half meant to say it as a joke, but I also kind of just drunkenly said it because I weren't thinking.
It's a genuine question.
It was partially. But yeah, that was a good one. I'm glad you thought it was funny and didn't think I was a fucking idiot as well, because I was kind of proud of that.
I love shit like that. That's like a Smiling Friends bit. I love that.
Yeah,
Jane.
And it was better because they must have had like an hour and a half set, and it was like an hour into it as well. It wasn't the first song; it was quite far through. So, So yeah, that was that. We went. So we did that. We stayed long past that headlining act because there was like a silent disco on later and stuff like that. And later we went to bed. I went to bed quite drunk, so I had to get up in the night for a wee. I had to do at festivals. I just get an empty water bottle, piss into that, and then dump that outside the tent. Like that's all I do. When you need a piss, it's so much better as a guy. But I noticed when I stepped out of the sleeping pod bit of the tent into like what we called the living room, there's kind of like a front area that's covered. All the floor was really, really wet. Or actually, at that point, there was just a giant puddle in the middle of the floor, and I was like, huh? Like, I was still half drunk, half like really sleepy, and I'd realised that like the tent was leaking at the front. I was like, oh fuck, that's going to be really annoying tomorrow. So I moved like one of Jasmine's hoodies that was on the floor into this chair, did my piss, and went to bed. Now, I wasn't sleeping great, partially because I was drunk, but partially because I could hear it was still fucking raining. Yeah. And I was a bit worried about that. So at one point, I woke up, and I didn't know what time it was. Jasmine was still sleeping. and I was like, oh god, I just feel a bit like shit.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck is that in the middle of our room? Like, because it was like, it just looked weird.
Yeah.
It looked to me like a white kind of blob. I'm like, what the fuck is like it's like suspended in the middle of the room. So I
like floating.
Yeah, because like, to be fair, the whole room was white, so it's like a bit weird to see what's like the edge and what's not.
Yeah.
So I'm like, what the fuck? It like looks all weird in the middle of the room, and I like kind of put my arm out to touch it, and I touched it, and just pouring water. Woke us up immediately. So my mum has lent us this tent. Not waterproof at all.
Yeah.
It's like essentially not even a bit. So Jasmine gets woken up immediately by water like pouring on her. And it was like, it wasn't dripping and it wasn't like, whoosh, it was like pouring. It was like you'd started a tap. It was like a mid tap. You're like, not obviously the tap, not like full force tap running, kind of like medium force tap running.
Yeah.
And it was just fucking soaking everything. Luckily, we'd put all the stuff in the, like all those clothes, food, and most things in the other pod of this tent. And I'd not touched the bulge on that one. So what we had to do was not touch this big, like, bulging roof with water wanting to fall, and tidy everything up first. And it was like, at that point, we were like, oh, for fuck's sake, our entire tent's flooded. Like, what the fuck? At that point, like, so far as I knew, it were like 6 a.m. or something. I was like, tired as shit. Knew we had to pack up that day anyway, or at least we were going home tomorrow. And I just said, fuck the rest of this festival, man. I'm already exhausted and fed up from having to get there. We're just going to pack up and go home. And because there was nothing else we wanted to see anyway. Like, all the acts that we were kind of even slightly interested in were they'd gone. Like, it weren't even on that day. So, yeah, our entire tent ended up flooded. And we just fucking went home. It was such a fucking pain to get stuff to the car. I was going to try and move the car from right at the back to near the front entrance of the festival because some people had gone already. So I thought, I'll do that. I'll just move it there and it'll be fine. So I left to go and do that. I left Jasmine like at the entrance of this festival with some of our stuff. And as I come back with the car, they put cones on the entrance to the bit that I wanted to get to, just as I was about to go in. Like, when I left the same place, no cones, I get back, they'd fucking cordoned it off, and it would have made such a difference if I could have got to that point. But no, like, and we even had like an extra pass and stuff. And I'm saying to the people, like, I'm really supposed to be in there. I was lying, to be fair. I was saying I'm supposed to be helping with some heavy gear. I need to get it into car and that. And they're like, nah. And I saw why. It's because some fucking idiot had driven in there and just driven straight into the muddiest fucking bit. Like, what the fuck? How can I don't know why people are so shit. Just don't drive in the muddiest bit. Look where there's less mud. Drive there. Easy. Also, here's another tip for you. Pretty fucking simple to figure out. Don't go at like 1/10 of a mile an hour when you're driving in mud. While you've got some grip, get some fucking power and get past the mud, you fucking idiots. It's like, honestly, it really pissed me off, so we had to cart shit for miles again. And I said, like, we'd learned his lesson from getting there, because we did 2 trips between the car and the tent on the way there, and it were just painful, heavy trips. I said, this time, we'll just carry not much, and we'll do lots of trips. We were going to end up doing it in 3 trips, and we'd lugged things twice to car, and it was like, oh, fucking hell, I'm exhausted. We got back, and there was still the fucking piss-wet tent to take down and carry all this massive tent with us. So, essentially what I did, I weren't, like, mad at my mum, because by any means, even though she could have fucking told us it weren't working. She to be fair, she told us to test the tent. But, like, what was I meant to do? Like, put it up and then pour water all over it? What the fuck? No, so I couldn't test it for that. So anyway, we were most of the way through taking it down, and I said to Jasmine, I'm tempted to just fucking throw this tent away. It fucking leaked all over us. Like, what use is it now? Like, the whole point of a tent is to protect you from the rain. So, but I was like, but it's not ours, it's my mum's. So I rung her up and said, look, the tent's flooded, it's leaked all over us. Please, can we just throw it away here? And she said, oh, it needs re-waterproofing. And I was like, are you serious? Just buy another fucking tent. Come on. You're going to... Because you have to spray the whole fucking outside of the thing. It's not going to work anyway. The poles are, like, rotting at this point for this tent. Like, I basically said that to her, but nicely. And she said, yeah, to be honest...
Are you fucking serious, Mummy?
She did say, to be honest, I can't be bothered to re-waterproof a tent.
Yeah.
So she said we could just throw it away, and thank fuck for that.
I know.
I was so happy about that.
I threw ours away when we went to download.
And yours, didn't you buy yours new?
No, I borrowed it off Dad. I did
right.
the same thing, but I didn't ask him for permission. I fucking threw it away, and then when I saw him next, I went, sorry, I threw it. If you want me to buy you a new one, I will.
Right. But why did you throw it? Just because you didn't want to carry it back?
No, we were like gonna carry it back, but it kept springing like fully back up. It was like a cartoon bit. It was like a Looney Tunes bit. We'd like get it all down, and then it'd perfectly just go and like be set back up perfectly.
I know you and your friend who was doing this tent. I'm almost certain that it was your fault.
we were fucking it up somehow. I know we were, but yeah. And we were just like, fuck this, yeah.
But you always have to double the amount of people. So if it says a two-man tent, and I told you this very clearly, and I said, trust me, I know what I'm doing. If it says a two-man tent, that's for half a person. You will not fit. and I was right, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were.
You survived, but it was fucking awful.
I slept in my car, to be fair, though. The other guy pretty much just had the tent, and I just slept in my car.
So
which was good, because it meant I could have a wank on the night, you know.
Buster not in the car. Laid? You weren't getting laid at the festival?
No, we're getting mad pussy. I weren't getting mad pussy from my friend. He wasn't offering himself up for me.
Wait, I'm trying to think about the people I've slept with. I think potentially no. I thought half of the people I've slept with might have been at festivals, but no. No. But anyway, so yeah, the tent fucking leaked all over us. Luckily, my mum said we didn't have to bring it back. And I suppose at that point, we could have stayed for some of the festival and driven back later. But I was like, fuck that. I don't even really want to be here. I'm sick of this fucking... It was organised so fucking badly. I was pissed off at the staff at that point. I was like, we're going home, we're going to McDonald's, and I'm going to eat 5 of my weight in McDonald's. Because I need some food that's like... you know, familiar enough, and it's fine. So we got to McDonald's, and I ate a shit ton of McDonald's, and bought. There was a shop next to it, and I bought some a kind of Monster to get me home. And we did it. It was all right. It wasn't awful. Like I'm still definitely glad we went, but I was trying to think as to whether I had a worse experience at that festival. It was Bearded Theory, by the way, if you wanted to know the festival. At Bearded Theory or at Leeds Fest. Because Leeds Fest was good weather the whole time, so we really didn't have to deal with any of that. But sleeping on a night was... it was awful. The toilets were worse at Leeds Fest. I think Leeds Fest was worse. The toilets were worse. It was too big. It swallowed itself, Leeds Fest, because you couldn't drink because you couldn't get to the front of the stage and then go to the toilet. You know what I mean? You'd miss too much. You need to go to the toilet all the time. And then there were queues for the toilets all the time. And then, like, you couldn't do any of that. So you had to do it sober. And that was shit. And there was no sleeping because, like, obviously people start getting up at maybe 9, which is actually late for a festival, but because it's a bunch of freaking kids at Leeds Fest. So you might get up at 9, but people won't stop screaming at the top of their lungs until maybe 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So it's abs, and then you're sleeping on a fucking air mattress. You know, it's awful. It was awful. Luckily, we actually got decent sleep at Bearded Theory because we were on camp beds rather than an air mattress. Air mattresses fucking suck. So we were on camp beds, and also, you know, people try and be considerate on a night. Although someone did walk past while it was raining, blasting like electronic music at like 8 a.m. I don't know why they did that, but anyway. I've got one more camping story for you, though, Judd.
Okay.
I think... I don't know if it was the first time. It was one of the first times I went camping without my parents. Right. It was with the Scouts.
Yes.
Do you remember when I was in the Scouts? What did you think of that?
I do remember in the Scouts. I thought it was cool. I wanted to join.
Wasn't cool.
I know, but I thought it was cool. I'm not saying it was cool, but I thought it was cool. I liked the idea. I liked the idea of the badges.
Yeah, and it was just all for like it'll be even worse now, but it was just like all like watered down shit, you know? Like it weren't like as hardcore as you wanted it to be. Like from back when it probably started, you know?
It was just, I don't know. It was less for like the activities that I'd be doing, and it was more like just sort of achievement. The idea of like achievement collecting, just be like, I got my fucking badge for this.
Just as a side note, I've 100%ed Spider-Man 2 and got all the trophies for it on PlayStation.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to 100% Boy Scouts and get all the achievements and trophies.
I actually did get quite a lot of badges at Scouts, but it was like, I don't know, it kind of, you did too much of the boring stuff all the time. It's like, I want to make fires and like, you know, use knives and stuff all the time. But it was more like identifying this bird, you know, it's like on a slideshow.
I'd be like, fuck, I gotta get the birds right because I need my bird spotting badge. Like,
I don't know,
it's not something that I'd normally like take an interest in, but because you're like, here's a badge.
But when you were 13, do you think you would have been like that?
I think because that's what I was thinking at the time. That was my reasoning. So,
okay, well, you should have gone then, maybe. But I don't know. I kind of got quite fed up with it.
Yeah, I remember you getting fed up with it.
But one of the times I went, and I didn't like the camping bit of it, but I liked the kind of, I don't know, the mischief you could get up to on the camping trips. And one of the camping trips, it was a big one. We were going to go to Guernsey, so it was like we had to take a flight to get there. Technically it's England, but it's an island, quite far away. I think it might even be closer to France, even though it's English.
Is it like Isle of Wight way, or is it? It's
Guernsey
to France.
Is
Paris, France.
Let me see.
Did you get your dick sucked?
It's closer to France than Isle of Wight. Yeah, it's kind of, I guess. Isle of Wight points towards France as well, but Isle of Wight's really close to England. I've actually been to Jersey as well, which is even closer to France, but we were on Guernsey, and there was a big campsite on Guernsey, and essentially what it was a big multi-scout troop meetup. So lots of scout troops from all over England were all meeting there. And there might have even been some Scotland and things like that. We're all flying to Guernsey, and we're all doing a big old camp and a bunch of shit. And obviously there was actually when we got there, my mum had like forced me to pack all the shit that they wanted me to bring. And because it's me, I was thinking, do I really need all this crap? I got there, and everyone's like, right, okay, unpack your sleeping mat that's supposed to make the ground comfier, and then your sleeping mat, and then you've got to have this as well. I was thinking, Dad, this was so hard to pack in my bag. Like, I don't want to have to get it out again. So for the first, 2 nights, I just put my bag down and used it as a pillow. And that's it. I think I might have used my coat as a bit of a blanket at most. And I was right by the entrance to this tent. I should have been really cold. And I was young as well. I would have been about... I must have been 13. I might have even been 12. I don't fucking know. I was that sort of age. So I just did that. Eventually, that got too much. The ground got too uncomfy and too cold, and I had to get the sleeping mat out. And it didn't help much, to be honest. I I remember half regretting it, half not, because it was like better and it allowed me to actually sleep, but I still thought, fuck, this is going to be a pain in the fucking ass to get it back in my bag. Some other things from there. They claimed there was like a haunted fucking bit in the woods. Obviously, it wasn't, because ghosts not real.
Yeah.
They had a shop, like a scout-specific shop, on the site. And they just let you buy shit that you shouldn't have been allowed to buy.
Like knives and shit.
Yeah. Like, I wasn't allowed to buy a knife, but I bought a fire starter. Bought a kit to just fucking start fires with.
You could potentially do more harm with a fire starter. What kind of fucking logic's that?
I don't know. But, I don't think I would have been allowed to... Actually, I don't know if... I might have been allowed to buy a knife, but I think it was more like... I got told, and rightfully so, well, you're not going to be allowed to bring that back on the plane.
Yeah. All
so
right, yeah, fair
I think
enough.
that's why I bought the next most dangerous thing.
Fire starter on the plane.
Yeah, fire starter was allowed. Okay. I guess it's a domestic flight, isn't it? So actually, I think I probably would have been able to bring the knife because it's like, well, yeah, you go in England to England, so you don't really do security and all that. So an interesting thing, you know, Dan, we're a long-time friend that I've known all through school, and Dan was, it was Dan's band I went to film at Bearded Theory. I actually must have met or seen Dan for the first time at this camp out thing before secondary school, because we were both in Scouts at the same time, and we both know we went to this thing. And I remember his troop knowing that my troop was the problem one. Like our scout troop was known for being a problematic scout troop.
Nice.
And we fully lived up to that reputation, because one night in the middle of the night, at a certain point, all the scouts have to go to bed, and some of the leaders stay up and probably fucking drink and fucking shag each other. I don't know. So all the leaders would stay up for a little bit and then go to bed. So
were they like camp counselors? Like, were they teenagers or were they like
no? They were adults.
Yeah.
Well, there would have been there were teenage scouts and that. Like I think it went up to about 16 for a scout. Anyway, so we'd all gone to bed. We'd been in bed for a little bit. Like, I'd managed to fall asleep on the ground, and eventually the whole scout camp heard a like a big boom, like a massive poof, like a proper loud explosion. So I was like right at the entrance to the tent, so I like opened the tent and was like, what the fuck? And like started walking over to where I heard this explosion. And apparently what had happened was, and I never knew this could happen, one of our scout leaders had put a tin of beans in our fire to warm up.
Oh no, and just left
Closed, sealed beans.
Yeah, not good.
Honestly, it fucking... And what reminded me of this is Mark Rober recently did a video that involved an exploding can of beans. People underestimate how much of a bomb you can make by heating up a can of beans. Fucking
all
hell.
That pressure building up in it.
We had a whole like tent over, like a fireproof tent thing that were meant to go above this like fire. It weren't there when I got there. It had blown the tent off. Honestly, it was fucking huge. So all these scouts started, like, thousands of scouts were like, what the fuck is that? Came out this tent to find that one of our leaders had blown up a fire tent.
Fucking hell. It weren't even like one of the kids.
No.
One of the adults looking after him.
Yeah. He just stuck he fancied some beans for a midnight snack and stuck him in the fire to warm up.
Fucking dick.
Oh,
did he like leave? Did he like forget that they were there? Did he like? Were you just like, I'll just put these on for like a hot minute?
No, well, I guess the idea is you would open the top of the tin, just at least a crack or something, so the air can get out, and then put the can in there to warm, and then just kind of like, you know, pick it out and pour it into a bowl or something. But he forgot to open it. He just fucking
slapped it straight on top. Nice.
Yeah. So yeah. That was my other camping story I could remember anyway. So there you have it, camping stories. Anything happened for you this week, Judd, that you want to mention before we wrap it up?
I went to a tournament, Jake. I went to a Warhammer tournament.
Did
Jake,
you win, son?
I have not done that bad in a long time.
Oh,
like in a long time. It was the first game was really good. I'm not going to go super into detail into it. Just a quick reference. That's not the reference. The games are scored out of 100 points, and you usually score on objectives anyway from like 3 to 4 points. If it's if you've done like a really big objective, it's like 5 points. The game lasts 5 turns. Going into turn 5, me and this guy were tied 74 to 74. So it was like a really fucking close game. And then it came down to me blowing up 2 tanks, and I would have won the game. I would have literally just had 2 more points ahead of him, and I would have won the game. But my tank, I just rolled like shit. I just needed 1 tank to perform not even good, like average, like on average. I just rolled like hot fucking shit. So the first game, incredibly close, but I just lost. Then the second game, by the way, I had great fun against that guy. That's what it was. It goes the camera.
The camera finally went.
Yeah, I had great fun against this guy. Like, even though I lost, it was really fun. But then, oh god, what the fuck is this doing? But then I got paired against the second guy. The second guy wasn't fun. I didn't have fun against the second guy. Now, first of all, I want to say this camera fucking sucks. Is what I want to say. I want to say. You can never have your ADHD be an excuse for why you don't play Warhammer. You can tell me you just don't want to because you're not interested. I get that, but you can never say that ADHD is a reason you don't play it anymore. Because this guy had ADHD spraying out of his arsehole. He just would not stop. He would not shut the fuck up. And what was most mind-boggling about it as well is he was like 65. He was like quite old, and he's like bouncing off the walls like high school sort of level energy, like, you know, shit like that. And he was just fucking annoying. You know when somebody's just not funny?
Yeah.
You know, like no.
The camera's going again, just like the camera.
He absolutely did my head in, and on top of that, I'm pretty fucking sure he was just cheating. I'm pretty sure he was cheating.
Just hold the camera up, Judd.
I'm pretty sure he was cheating. It was stuff like, there's one point where I'm trying to measure the distance, like a 24-inch distance between one of my dudes to one of his dudes, and I measured it, and it was within 24-inch, and then he goes to measure it from his model, puts it down in front of my model, and like starts knocking my model back a bit with his tape measure to make it out of range. I'm like, mate, you've just knocked it back. I just watched you do it. I was like, oh, okay, I guess it is in range then.
It sounds like he might be autistic to me. I don't want to like put anything on anyone, but if you like, he might be like autistically desperate to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, welcome to Warhammer 40k. But yeah, so he does that, and then like at another point when he was adding up hits, I'm pretty sure he fucking threw in like something that didn't hit. I said you just threw in something that didn't hit. He took it out, and then I'm sure he put like 4 random extra dice just in his hand with the hits. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing? So, but like on top of that, I was just rolling like hot shit. Like, I was just, like, all of my rolls were just absolutely hot shit. So it got to, like, the second turn, and I had nothing that I could do anything with, and I just went, you know what, I concede, fucking have it. I just quit. And then, because there was, like, 2 hours...
Isn't you can report him to?
Well, no, because it was the kind of cheating that it's like, it's not something it's not like weighted dice. Because if I call a TO over and I'm like, I'm sure his dice are weighted, you can check for shit like that. But if he's just quickly knocked something back like half an inch, or like, you know, slid a couple dice in his hands, it's not something I can necessarily prove, is it? It's not something I can like...
You could get someone to be watching the game for the rest
I know,
of the
but
game.
then it's like another thing is like then if he decides to be if he decides not to do anything like that for the rest of the game, I look like a cunt. So it's like you can't.
I guess, but it's like I don't know. It depends how understanding the marshals are, I guess. Because obviously, if you're smart enough, you'd be like, well, obviously he's not going to do any of that while I'm here now, so we might have prevented it. So he might have been doing it before.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just shit like that, and he was just doing my head in as well. Like he was just fucking annoying. I think that was a lot grinding my gears, Lois. That's what was grinding on me the most. Is that like if I'm getting my head kicked in, but I'm having fun with the person I'm playing with, then I don't care. But it's like I'm not standing here for another hour.
That's the problem I have with it. Yeah. It goes on forever.
It's long. And it don't feel like it goes on forever when you're having like a good game. Like it flies, but you know when you just stood there and the guy you're playing with's like no fun around to be at all. Plus you're rolling like shit, so there's nothing to do. Plus he's probably cheating. It's like no, fuck this. So I conceded. And then because I had a 2-hour drive back home because it was a while away this tournament. I was just
in
like,
your
you know
car
what?
as well. I know that sounds silly, but your car's not great. So doing long drives like that is.
Yeah, I said to the TO, I was like, look, I'm gonna drop. I hope it's not a problem. He was like, no, it's fine, because what they usually do is they bring their own armies in case anybody does drop, so that they can like play and fill that person's place. So it's usually not a problem. I did ask before I left. I was like, is it a problem? And he said no.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, I didn't come last. I lost all 3 games in the tournament. I lost the first one barely. Harder? They must have done, because there were 24 people in the tournament and I came 17th, so...
a lot of people lost harder than...
Yeah, I know, so I was like, wow, okay, I guess, alright, yeah. So, but I always say, when I go to a tournament, a good tournament, or like a tournament I'm just happy with, is where I beat at least like half of the people that have gone to it. And I usually do, but just not this time. This time just was not my fucking time.
You'll get him next time, Chief.
I will. I've got another one. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after is when I've got another one.
Right. Okay.
So
fair enough.
Hopefully, I will be the Warhammer 40,000 this time. I will be John Warhammer.
Be the heart of the cards, the heart of the dice.
I will be Horus Heresy Warhammer 40,000.
So there's nothing going on for a couple weeks, but on there should be a podcast recording in a few weeks that'll be rather interesting, because I've got a stag do I'll be going to.
Oh, nice.
So
it's 29th, innit? Midsommar.
Look at that! Look at Judd remembering things. 29th of June. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, good. Okay. Yeah,
right.
Good.
Okay. That'll do it.
All right. Bye. Shall I do this the whole? Oh, I can show everybody my awful desk.
Oh, look at that as an Easter egg.
Look at that. For the one person that's probably watching.
God, yikes. Yeah. That whole I can't believe they gave you like a bedroom and this entire room to ruin as well.
And an office, yeah.
Why do you get that? Like the room they've given you is big enough, by the way, to have your own like space as well.
Okay.
It's the end of the podcast anyway. Right.
Okay.
Bye. Everyone. Bye.